Google Ads just doesn't work for Shopify. And if that's been your experience, it's probably not your ads. It's a hidden Shopify issue that quietly kills tracking and almost nobody checks it. If you're running Shopify and Google Ads and you're struggling to get sales, I can almost guarantee what's wrong. And no, it's not your bid strategy, it's not your creative, it's not even Performance Max itself. It's that one tiny setting that absolutely kills Google Ads on Shopify and almost nobody has an idea what's happening. Sales still come in slowly and Google Ads never seems to learn. It just doesn't work. Honestly, if you struggle to get conversions at all, that is. Performance Max never really starts learning. The campaign just sits there dead in the water. And that's why people end up thinking, maybe I need to rebuild the account. Maybe Performance Max just doesn't work with Shopify. So what the hell's going wrong? And the frustrating part is this: the account looks perfect. The merchant center's connected, products are approved, titles looks great, structure's clean, and you start second guessing yourself. Tom, who works here for me, asked for some help from me this week, and he goes, John, I've taken over this account from another agency. The bill, to be fair to them, looks good, but I can't work out why it's not converting. I asked him, what's it running on? He goes, oh, it's running on Shopify. I said, have you got Performance Max running? Yeah, all looks sorted, it's really good. What about the merchant center? The feed's connected up, they're all running fine, it just looks great. What about the merchant center titles? Do they look fine? He said, yeah, everything looks perfect. So I said, oh, I don't know, just let me have a look at the account. So I jumped in, went into the campaign, clicked campaigns, looked at the low ROI, it was really poor. Low bid though was running quite nicely, 22-1 ROI, that's really good. But it just wasn't scaling. That's a bit of a warning sign. So first thing I'm going to do, I'll flick over to the left-hand side to the products tab, and I have a look at one or two products at random. Titles look great. The status looks really good. Nothing's missing at all. And while I'm just reading the titles, my eyes drift down to the product URL, the actual link that goes back to the Shopify product on the website. And then I saw it. Product URLs, they've got UTM tracking parameters on them. The second I saw that, I knew exactly what had happened. Not this might be an issue, not this could affect performance. Shopping on Google would never work because Google Ads literally could not track sales properly. Oh, if you're new here, I'm John Langley and I have a Google Ads agency. Our niche here is Google Ads with our perfect repeatable marketing system. And the team of Google Ads specialists here, they've helped generate over 1.5 billion in revenue for small businesses. I know it's a lot of zeros. And if you find my videos useful, please hit the like, subscribe and comment. Now, let's get back to fixing what's wrong with Google Ads and Shopify. So let's draw this out. So we've got Shopify here. Now Shopify is going to send data via the product feed to the Google Merchant Center. It's all looking good. So we've got our products in the Merchant Center and then that hooks up over, as you know, to your Google Ads. Now Google Ads is going to run some ads here and we'll just draw them out. And then that's going to result hopefully in conversions and sales and they're going to take place on Shopify. So we go back over to Shopify. So we've got this little circular loop going on here. But it depends on one key thing. Shopify has to report back to Google Ads the source of the sale. And it does this by sending the conversion data over to GA4 Google Analytics. And Google Analytics then sends that data over to Google Ads. So now we understand the process. Now Google Analytics uses UTM tracking, urchin tracking model. I know it sounds a bit weird. Now UTMs, or this tracking model, was built for analytics. It wasn't built for ad platforms. So if you send traffic from, say, an email newsletter, GA4 has got no idea where that click came from unless you tell it. So you add UTM tracking code onto the web URL address. And you've seen things like UTM underscore source equals, say, email. And the UTM underscore medium might say newsletter, and it might even have UTM campaign, and it might equal August_sale. You get the picture of how this is going. And GA4 goes, cool, I understand all of this. You can see this information in Google Analytics. If you go to the acquisitions tab on the left, click on traffic acquisition and then select source medium, you can see all this traffic and where it's coming from. Now, UTMs are brilliant for email, influencers, affiliates, SEO, all that type of thing. But Google Ads doesn't work like that. Google Ads uses another system called a GCLID. It's GCLID. And think of it as Google's own tracking system. Instead of passing this massive, messy URL, it says this click came from this campaign, this ad, this product, this keyword, this audience. And it wraps all that up into one quite long ID. Google does this automatically when you click on the auto tagging of Google Ads. And it will look like something on your URL. It will look like GCLID equals, I don't know, EA1A something or other. And you can see them in the URL whenever you click an advert. Now, the purpose of this is to uniquely identify the exact ad click. So that will link to the click, to the session, and to the conversion inside Google Ads. So it all works brilliantly, and it passes through cookie data, GA4 data, and it all gets sent around of how the ecosystem works. And this is how Google proves this sale came from this specific ad click over here. And behind the scenes, Google knows everything. That GCLID is how Google Ads claims credit for conversions and learns what to push more budget into, especially with Performance Max. But here's the problem. GA4 sees a URL with a UTM and a GCLID, and it does something odd. It does the following. UTMs are read first. GA4 assigns the session to the source medium as per the UTM tracking code in your URL. GA4 doesn't associate the session with a specific Google ad click, and the GCLID is effectively ignored. So GA4 can't send back to Google Ads anything about what's happened to the click. Now, UTMs are manual labels within GA4, and GCLIDs are Google's own tracking system. And when you force UTMs onto a product URL, especially inside Shopify product feeds, you override the entire Google Ads tracking system. So Google Ads is now operating blind. So what happens here is a click happens from Google Ads, the sale happens in Shopify as we looked at before, but the conversion gets attributed to whatever the UTM source was instead of the GCLID. Now, from Google Ads point of view, it looks like this. I spent money, but nothing's converted. So it stops learning. It stops pushing your best products. Performance Max never exits the toddler learning phase. And AI, as we all know, with no tracking equals no sales. And Shopify genuinely makes this worse because Shopify is full of these plugins. And you may have seen them. You may also like blocks that go on the product page, like these products, carousels. There's product syncs tools, there's attribution tools. And every one of them wants to do one thing. It wants to prove to you that they're working and they're worth paying for. They want to say, hey, look, we generated revenue and we can prove it over here in analytics. So they inject their own UTM product carousel codes in the product feeds. Well, product feeds are a bit of a nightmare for this in truth. So in truth, there should never be a situation where analytics should show you that maybe this plugin over here for you also like these products is the source of a sale. After all, they didn't get to the site through you may also like this product. They came in through Google Ads, organic. So the plugin is always trying to destroy the source of your real analytic data. And this is what's really quietly destroying your Google Ads tracking. By having UTM tracking in your Merchant Center product links, you break Google Ads tracking so PMax cannot know what's working and what's failing. And it's nothing throws an error, nothing looks broken, you're just burning money, and that's why your Google Ads and Shopify doesn't work. And there's a dead simple test. Go into your Google Ads, click on a product, and look at that product. Look at the final URL, read the whole thing. And if you see anything that says UTM underscore source, UTM underscore medium, UTM campaign, in fact, anything with UTM underscore on it, on a product link, then it's absolutely going to destroy your Google Ads. And it won't work in the Merchant Center, and that's your problem. That's why Google Ads doesn't work for Shopify. And what you've got to do is, in the product feed within Shopify, you've got to disable UTMs at the product source. And it's quite simple to do. Just go to the product feed plugin and make sure there'll be a little tick box on it saying, make sure that UTM tracking is disabled. Or if they're trying to get you to enable it, don't tick it. So if a plugin, in truth, can't run without UTMs, it does not belong in your Google Ads account, and it should not be used on Shopify. And always do this quick sanity check on your product links. And also, this can apply to WordPress as well. So if you're struggling with these and other ad issues, we at ClickConvert are always here to help as usual, and you know this by now, guys. So you can take a free review with us. We'll have a look at your Google Ads. We'll help you sort out your strategy for 2026. It will be eye-opening, and you'll be able to find out what's really happening in your account. So there'll be a QR code on the screen here. Scan that QR code or visit clickconvertmarketing.com to book your free Google Ads review. So there you go, guys. I hope this video was really useful for you and it helps you solve the problems with Shopify and Google Ads, particularly around this issue of UTM codes. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.